ebusia for me ma obi bia akọ abasronko eba possible TV GH any dey kwan so and then they can we need a channel so YouTube and start and saying me be so be the no share video no if you know like or comment or subscribe we know share content no among even so videos ni bi are ebusia any kwan so no ka so di back bi add drop when you can first so breaking news no ema all the time no me person me say what that yenko tie se me.
I want to be blunt. I know a lot of people will not like it, but that's the situation. To be honest with you, whatever President Akufo-Addo is going through with this Ghana's economy, I can say confidently that the whole world governments are going through the same because of Russian-Ukraine war, especially after the COVID. So I always say that if we are voting today in the whole world, 80% of sitting governments will lose. Will lose in the sense that the hardships all over the world, the citizens cannot bear it, and therefore is making every government unpopular. But I will also say that things probably, from hindsight, there are certain things we didn't do right that I think if we have done it differently, the economy would not have been this level to where we are today. Example is, I believe in practical things and creating jobs for the youth. What the program NAPCO, NAPCO, for instance, employed 100,000 graduates at 700 cedis a month, meaning 700 million a month. And 700 million, we could have established industries for these young men. You will not get 100,000 people working, but at least the sustainability would have been there, where young men and women, even if they are 20,000 out of 100, will have permanent jobs. Okay, so from 2017 to date, if NACOP was spending 700 million, you multiply it by 6, that would have been giving you about 400 and something, 4.2 billion. And my brother, 4.2 billion would have established a lot of industries here. And the ripple effect, those permanent workers, their family members, and everybody, you will see that, and taxes that we're going to get out of that. Although in the initial stages, there will be challenges because you need to build the industries. But in the long run, it would have been more beneficial than what we are going through. So I would say that, yes, by and large, there have been some mistakes that we've made that are not means worse. But the problem that every country is facing in the world, Ghana is not exceptional. And therefore, propagandas that go on every day, we have to be careful, because it did happen under President Kufuor's era, where the first 6-7 years it did marvelously well, and the world crude oil prices went up from $59 to $147 in May 2008. Then July it went to 174. Prices went up, transportation, food, and Ghanaians did not forgive MPP. That time I warned them, said, look, if you make a mistake and vote for NDC, and within 6 months, Ghanaians were crying.
After 6 months of NDC?
Yes. So the same thing is happening. But I will not sit here and say that I'm an MPP and therefore all is well. All is not.
But let me ask you something. MPP and NDC argue about this. MPP said John Mahama is incompetent. The incompetent one, they called him. And then MPP came to power. Today, the NDC is also saying MPP is incompetent because of a particular denominator, IMF. John Mahama went to the IMF in 2013 or so. Kufuor and Kenoforiata have gone to the IMF. After they inherited IMF, exited Ghana from the IMF, they've had to go back to the IMF. So the people are saying that if you are incompetent, I'm also incompetent. What is your analysis of this NDC IMF, MPP IMF?
You see, when During the time that NDC went to IMF, I think in 2015.
Yeah.
Okay? There was no global crisis or pandemic. Okay? There were no wars that affected the whole world's economy. So you could see that it was a complete mismanagement of the economy. I'm not holding brief for MPP, but at least they can lean on something and say that, look, the COVID. Let me take this opportunity. I'll be boldly and blunt and explain to you that most countries, a lot of people lost their jobs.
Yes.
They didn't have jobs. They were staying home.
After COVID, during and after COVID.
Okay, some were given stipends to survive. Ghana, no worker in this country was asked to stay home.
Government workers.
Government workers.
And they were paid.
And they were paid.
Even when they couldn't go to work.
Right.
And they didn't pay water bill and light bill.
Right. You add it yourself. You know the performance of MPP during the COVID. I'm not holding brief. We've made some mistakes that we all have to accept, and I'll be the first person to accept. But when you compare the two governments, Akufo-Addo and Mahama, Mahama is not alternative to Ghana.
Why not?
Because the man has been fortunate to succeed at a most for 2 years. He has been fortunate to go one term, which is 4 years, 6 years. And we saw what happened in this country. So what is he going to tell Ghanaians again? What is Mahama going to tell Ghanaians?
He's telling Ghanaians that MPP is corrupt.
MPP is corrupt. NDC is corrupt. That is why you have Agyapong coming in.
Agyapong is MPP.
I'm a disciplined.
Yenu ebe ma kofi agie konfinfi mantemu a ne wono ne gina adom TV anamu ni adom fm na abasobode ati sei ne nsa ka ode ne nsem atudwa no yenyina enwomasua mu ana eye oman panyefo a womo ehye enwomasua eho sem so de nkrata bia ba na Cassandra Twum ampofonsa ene sase wona ye opanya wo hye amanebo ni kitahode ho sem so e wo Ghana Education Service asama wode atudwa nyina ene se empanyefo a womo e wo Ghana Education Service Chese Yewra Kenneth Agyapong-Ghanaians ya wono headmaster woda Fijai Senior High School na no won fa da dwuma ento honom na ehwehwemu enkoso ne kwado mo de boni nyina ne se wono te honom na se ene ya ban ne dia ba se Senior High School fi okwaso a wo fode ne ma omo ema beko wo bra won tua hye won de wote ho na wo di school fees ya aban ema ne kwan school no ma no school mpagifo ema ne kwan so tumi gi sa fees no ma ne yeye eno na chese ho ma ne abeto mpagifo enima wo matu so ana mo anim anim ya chese na dwuma no onfanto wonom na ye wopanya wo kɔ atoema ntemu a won na hye enwomasua ho senso no enso mu na ontoto school no enamonto ene wo bodada dwumade ne nyina kosi se ehye mu nyina bɛkɔ na wieye na wo mu behunu se Yewra Kenneth ne ho ani asem no na se ne ho bomu a na asokyese fata no wo mu adiama no wo mu kyesa bedwa kɔ watoma wo ye ehye mu no amma no na wotwemienu ese report bi e wo bia no wo mu edebeba na emu ensam no so no wo ma hunu kwan befa so edi dwuma eno ene amane aba beto dwente no Fijai Senior High School wo mu headmaster Yewra Kenneth Agyapong-Ghanaians sei empanyefo kyesa fa da dwuma ento ho na ehwehwemu enkoso
Asempa FM. Çried FM.
Mame fa wo enko western of matem ne ne ho na enmrantie bia wo mo small scale mining bia chese ekwan a amantam ne sofo de wo mo enam so wo mo empe wo mo chese ansampo na MP be ko mabato so afie atwa mu akoto ba de akokoyi mantam no akandi for party ne mu no na regional minister ne wo no ewo hɔ nei no ebeka kye wo mo se wo mo hwaso mo ebetai wo mo etema na wodi ntwo no ati enye sade omudwumade nya de bekoye de amom kra ampampa mrante ne kire se wo no de regional minister na eka sabre no ma fa nya adwuma ema opanyin no chese wodi ntwo na efi honom no wo se mantem ne soafo na tumi soma ne mrante ba sizi wo mo excavator se ba giboso okwaso kwaja no wodi sika bum chese sika woje wo no wo mo ntiase eno ene wo mo chese de ekoso no se mantem ne soafo no anhwe yi a wo mo ne no ede besie ne wo ho pa